So, Lucas, what's the issue here?
The issue is that while the test streams are working, the going live immediately ends the stream for some reason.
That sounds like a YouTube problem.
It sounds like a YouTube problem.
We work with it a lot too over back home.
Yeah.
For high school stuff. And sometimes YouTube had an issue with its streaming. I think yesterday one of our games on MSS.
For now. Good afternoon, hockey fans, and welcome into the New England Sports Center, the 2022 USPHL Winter Showcase, the event of the year in the USPHL, our jewel event, 7 rinks of action, 4 days of hockey, over 120 matchups, teams spanning from as far southwest as San Diego up to Utah. We drive over to Michigan, make it down to Ohio, into Maine, as far northeast as we go, all the way down to southern Florida, USPHL Nation, that's hashtag USPHL Nation for you Twitter folks at home, is well represented here this weekend, and no more well represented than the first man I introduce in as he works technically through his tweet, my left-hand man, Mike Insigliere, Mon Frere from the other mayor, and a man who will be very brief and send that tweet, Lucas Jones.
Sup?
I look to my right, and I start with the man, the myth, the show. It is Sean Bretherick, my right-hand man today for real. You're sitting right here on my right hand.
You have it leaning on my left shoulder, man.
That's what I'm doing right now. I'm like
glad
a parrot.
to be here, man. This is cool.
From the Rockets Hockey Club, you make the move up here. You work in this game of hockey. You work throughout the sports broadcasting business around the country calling games. Can you talk to me a little bit about this Rockets Hockey Club you work with and what you love so much about the game of hockey?
Well, we do a whole lot of stuff at Bridgewater Sports Arena. We have a whole bunch of programs through the Rockets Hockey Club program. Obviously with Elite, NCDC, and Premier, the three highest, of course, that we cover on Hockey TV. Not to be overshadowed with how our youth program is with Noel Rubin, who
it is a wagon.
Just some incredible programs there. It's just a lot of fun to be able to do it, and had a showcase there earlier this year, and it's just really cool, and also to be able to do another one and come actually back here and see them come by. It's nice to see them, and they're always happy to see me around here. Just like, did you come up here by yourself? It's like, no, I got the call, man.
He didn't just show up. He's here. He's working. We're putting him to work right now.
Drive 4 hours for nothing. But
especially in the snow.
Oh yeah, that's a whole another topic for another. But listen, it's incredible to be able to see all these other teams, though, like you mentioned, from where they go, from where they are, and it's just it's just kind of cool to see. I called a game for the Rockets last night for the taking on team from Florida, and tonight I'm going to have them facing up a team from California.
Yep.
It's just like I never thought I would see that happen. Never thought that I would have that traveling across the way. Although I do want the Long Beach Shredders to come to BSA at some point.
Oh,
That needs
come
to
on.
happen.
Edam's got to get the
And
boys there.
both-
Emerson's got to get it done.
And they need to bring both uniforms because we'll play one with our grays, their whites, and then we'll play one with their blacks and then our grays, and then one with their whites and our blacks.
Some of the
I
best
think that's
unis in
just
the
got to
game.
be what we've got to do. It's an attraction in itself. Those uniforms are so bold, and that's another thing too. It's like the style of all these teams, man. It's incredible.
Yep.
To be able to see unions. I think I saw one with like a gradient fade and like yellow and gold. It's like it's bold, and I love it. You know, you got to love it.
That's what it's all about.
And it is being able to see all these teams, man. It's just incredible.
Now I see another man to your right, and this is one of my favorites in the game of broadcasting as well. There's a reason why I brought these gentlemen in. This is my go-to squad right now, my 1-2 punch, my Jersey boys. We are the Jersey boys today. We just don't sing as well as Frankie Valli, but I do look to my right, and I see Brett Luthner, the voice of the Jersey Hitmen, the voice of the Sussex Miners, the voice of, I feel like you've been the voice of every team ever.
It feels like it. I got a ton of high school games to go to, so it's almost like I'm the voice of North Jersey sports.
I think you
Yeah,
are
there
at
you
this
go.
point. Like when I think of North Jersey sports, and I think of that action, I think that I'm going to walk into any rink building facility and find you on a microphone. Even if they don't want you in there, I feel like you're going to show.
It's quite possible. It is quite possible. I got some time on my hands, obviously, so it's like have a microphone, we'll travel.
And Brett, I mean, you work with the Jersey Hitmen, and you get a chance to see a lot of hockey in that Ice-Vault Arena. We're going to be talking about the USPHL Elite All-Stars, as well as our Mountain Division All-Stars, the folks from the big bumpy area of the
Right.
map, if you got a geographically correct map.
We got a little bumpy area in northwestern New Jersey. Went with the Sussex
Kinda.
County Miners in the summer. It's a little bumpy area. That's a big bumpy area.
Like, you ever have that old globe where you roll the globe and you can feel they have like the actual geographic bumps on it?
Yep.
Lucas knows about
Yeah,
that globe. That is where you got to know about the globe. You know about the geographic globe, the 3D one.
Yeah, spinning them around and stuff.
Never
like
had it. I didn't have a 3D one.
Oh yeah, you used to be able to feel the mountains.
Oh, that's incredible.
It's
I would
actually
have
pretty
loved
cool,
that.
and the Rocky Mountains are much bigger than the Appalachians. That's how I know it. But you see this league, you see the talent. I mean, talk to me. You're calling games this weekend. Rink 6 is the Brett Luthner rink this weekend.
Yes.
You've got every single game call on Rink 6. What have you seen so far? What's impressed you about this USPHL action?
I tell you what, there's been a lot of intensity on Ring 6. Guys have been getting after it and really, whether NCDC, Premier, Elite, all divisions have been getting after it. Haven't been any real blowouts, which is a good thing.
Yeah.
You see a couple of score lines that just gradually get away at the
Yep.
end. But you still got a competitive game after two, and just goal here, goal there. But it's been a lot of intensity. A lot of physicality over there on Rink 6. It's almost like, wait a second, I could feel Rink 1 right next door. We want to be there, the main arena, so let's just try to bully our way over there and start. There's been a lot of good physical play. You would expect, though, from all three divisions.
Of course, and we get into it. We're about to break in to the USPHL Elite All-Stars. We're going to crack that open. We've created two teams. We remind you, Dan Kay and Lucas Jones made these. I will put the onus for the Elite on Lucas Jones. I gave Lucas the task of picking the Elite. I gave Dan Kay the task of picking the Premier, which I gave myself more work, by the way. I had 8 divisions to do. He had to do 2 teams.
I can see your
Don't-
defenseman, and you are missing.
Oh well, here's the
That's
thing.
going to be the conversation we're going to
You're
have.
missing one on that.
And that's going to be our conversation today.
Good.
I will
We'll get there.
prelude these selections with Dan took the Premier, the monstrous task of the Premier. I took the Elite, which actually I think is a little bit harder.
Because there was only 2 teams in the Elite.
Right.
What we did, we have Team Florida plus North. So the Florida teams with the Northern teams. We then have Team Atlantic/Southeast.
Okay.
So teams from the Atlantic and the Southeast were put together. We did
That's-
this by the way that the power rankings worked out, took the total number, and paired the likewise team with the opposite. So that is how, or division with the opposite, and that is how these teams got put together.
Instead of like a north-south type of geographical.
Yeah, we
total
didn't
thing.
we don't like to draw lines by north and south. We did that in the 1800s. It didn't work out, and we do it now. We're here, and we're putting this team together. Sean, You look upset already reading through this, and I'm excited to get into this. This is what makes good TV. You are going to be the voice of the fan out there. You're going to be the voice of the parent out there today. I want you to be team. What was the name of the show I made up yesterday? I forget, but you are going to be on that team.
Are you ready to show the folks at home the team and get these?
Are we going to show it, or are we going to? We're going to
show it.
We're going to show it all at
Show
once.
it.
All
Show
at
it.
once.
Team Atlantic and Southeast is on the board. Let's read through it quickly before we get into the discussion and the argument. Your forwards, left winger from the Carolina Junior Canes, Aiden Ryan, the year 2003, having a great year. That top line will be centered by New York Aviators centerman Edward Kienzell. He's a year 05. Talk about a youngster making a name for himself. Austin Sawyer to the right from the Richmond Generals makes the squad. Your second forward line here on the All-Stars, Liam Hanna of the Potomac Patriots at the left wing. Jared Schoen of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. This kid is filthy.
Definitely.
Filthy.
Yeah.
Garrett Albers will be to his right, another Richmond General making the squad. Left winger David Hofteaser. Hofteaser, he's not teasing anybody, man. He's putting goals in the back of the net. Your left winger on that third line. Centered by Ryan Grant, the year 03 from the Carolina Junior Canes. Right winger on the third line of the All-Star team, the Atlantic Southeast All-Star team, Marco Taffo. More like Marco Golo, if you ask me. Yeah,
He played good yesterday.
Don't reward him for that.
I got a chuckle at him. I got a chuckle. Next up, we have left winger Egan Cunningham from the Charlotte Rush that makes the squad, centered by Jacob Penetrante and right winged by Nathan Fisher. Penetrante from the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights, Nathan Fisher from the Hampton Roads Whalers. Your final two forwards, your extra skaters for this side, Joe Pettit of the Richmond Generals and Anthony Campisano of the Jersey Whalers. Your defenseman, let's move on. Left defenseman, this guy has been my favorite defenseman to watch all year long, Case Cook of the Richmond Generals, former Charleston Colonial, now moving on to the Richmond Generals. He makes the All-Star squad for the Atlantic and the Southeast. Right defenseman Ben Pearson of the Charlotte Rush makes the squad. Your second D pair, Sean Eliav of the growing Potomac Patriots. This team has turned things around this year. A team that had just a handful of wins over a few seasons now, churning out the W's. Right defenseman Ryan Cunningham of the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights makes the squad. Your final two D-men, Colin Nolan of the Jersey Hitmen and Austin Bailey of the Jersey Hitmen. We will have a conversation about that missed defenseman in a moment as he takes a deep breath. Your goaltenders before we get to that. Frank Smith of the Jersey Hitmen. He'll make the squad the Euro 4, an all-star performance for him. Sam Edmonds of the Charlotte Rush. I mean, Edmonds, who's been better? Well, maybe there's only one man who might have a case for it. It might be the goaltender so nice. Well, they just went and named him thrice, and that's John Dylan Clancy. Gentlemen, let's bring it back into the booth here. Lucas Jones on the switcher. Let's start with Sean, because you seemed the angriest with the miss, and I want to talk about the miss first.
Let's just put this into perspective here.
Yes.
When the USPHL puts out their Players of the Month, usually in the Atlantic Division, there's usually a defenseman. And Austin Bailey, by the way, first of all, it's a great pick.
Yes.
But the fact that there's two Jersey Hitmen in there, and
Now, come on, man.
didn't put Max Toomey in
Come on,
that
man.
list.
And this is Lucas, and this is why we don't allow Lucas to do things. And what I
To
want to
me,
say,
I think one of the best scoring, at least definitely in the Mid-Atlantic Division. I think, listen, Colin Nolan and Austin Bailey are two fantastic defensemen. The rest of the defensemen, absolutely fantastic. I love the forward picks, and I love the great shot for Anthony Campisano as well from the Whalers. Fantastic there. But I think that's a guy that, scoring goals, playing as the catalyst of the offense for the Rockets Hockey Club as their lead player, being able to take control and almost changing the game.
oh, they're bringing us our
He
chips.
wants to do.
Oh, those go here. They just put them on a broadcast the whole time. But no,
listen, I think it's a tough one. I mean, if you wanted to put a seventh one, if you wanted to add Mr. Toomey, I think that could be possible.
the big question is this. These all-star teams
Yes.
are picked by the Dan K Show.
Yes.
We have a little bit of power.
Huh?
I mean, we have the ability to make things happen. And the question is, Lucas doesn't just get the all-encompassing voting.
Right.
The question is, does the panel vote on one more defenseman?
I mean, if you added 2 extra forwards, what's wrong with adding 1 extra defenseman?
That's the question. I mean, it's an all-star team. You
Yeah.
can skate with however many you want.
For that graphic, that may be a little.
I
It
will
would be a
have to
problem
change
for
the
the
graphic.
You might have to change.
Oh,
Yeah.
Lucas would
Lucas might have to
change
resize them, but you can see if you were to replace
But
one of the
so
two
here's the
hitman
thing:
guys, it might be okay.
is I know I like the point, right? And
Right.
I think to speak for the 2 Jersey Hitmen defensemen, you look at what I think, and if you notice what I've done with the Hitmen is the defense and the net minding, because I think, and you can speak to it, is
Right.
how good it's been.
What happens is, and let's give full credit to Jim Raymond because
Oh
he's
my God,
rebuilt this team. He's retooled it. They're building from the back up, and the players have all bought into it. And when you have that stability back there, and Jim's done a great job with this, they're getting those results. I have nothing against Matt. Toomey's a tremendous defenseman too.
Oh, Toomey's stellar.
there's no doubt about it. Sean brings up a really good point. Obviously my Jersey Hitmen there are on the list, so I'm not gonna, I'm not saying no, you can sub him out, but building it from the back up and getting the players to buy into that is really big, because at these levels, you can get some players that be like, yeah, I don't know, but Jim's got this team bought in, and they are playing, and obviously this is an all-star team, but throughout the team, they've bought into this not new, but they bought into the concept of we got to take care of our own end first, and it's showing right now.
Yeah, and you look at Jim Raymond's team, they've come out, they've had some big upset victories. This is one of the youngest squads in the country in the USPHL Elite.
Right.
They continue to battle, and this is why you bring on the Rockets guy with the Hitmen guy, because now they will spend the next 5 minutes for your entertainment wrestling over who gets the last defenseman spot.
And I'll tell you what though. I mean, listen, Nolan and Bailey are 2 fantastic defensemen. Again, when the Rockets play the Hitmen, it happens all the time. The Hitmen have been able to win every single game so far.
Which I also
We'll see.
say there's a conspiracy. So Coach Wags has had the number of Coach Jim Raymond for a long time. We went on a golfing expedition with Coach Raymond and Coach Wags. Coach Raymond, I think, got the edge on Coach Wags after the golf round. I think something just changed in the format here, and he figured out his way to the win, because now he's dominating in that division.
That's a team. Listen, it's such a young team. You look at the roster. You look at the ages of all these players are all 05s.
Yeah.
A lot of them 05s. There's some 04s in there. A couple of mixed in. Austin Bailey, more he's just a veteran of the squad. The biggest thing to me, as far as the Hitmen is concerned, other than their youth, is they got 2 bona fide number 1 goaltenders, in Smith and Carter. They're both. Usually during the weekend, the Hitmen will face the Rockets, and one's at the Ice Vault, and then the other one goes to BSA. Yep. And Jim Raymond could literally just flip a coin, put it on the back, and just pick one of the 2 goalies, and they're going to give you a stellar performance, each of them, Carter and Smith. Both of them are just nearly impossible to beat. And, that's why when the Rockets are facing the Hitmen, it's very difficult to score, because they got good defense. They got 2 good defenses. They're on 2 of them on the All-Star team right there.
Yeah.
And then you could have had both goalies of the Hitmen in the Southeast and Atlantic in there.
Well, that's the thing. That was the hardest question between those 2, right? You try to.
Right.
It's tough to put 2
have had either.
goaltenders from the same team on the All-Star team, right? It's happened before. But you look at the format when you get to the national championship, right? The tournament is 3 games in 3 days to get out of pool play, 5 total games if you want to raise a title, if you want to win a cup. So you got to be able to play 5 games in 5 days. There are not many netminders who can roll out and put their best performance on ice 5 days in a row consecutively. So the importance of having that second netminder, that guy that can come in, you can trust him in a big position. The Hitmen have that, and it's why I think they're a title contender this year in the Elite, despite the age.
And what's scary is Matthew Carter, he skates out on his high school team, which is, I mean, because they have a goalie on that team who's also just really good as well. But and this goes organizationally throughout the organization, is they always want to, the Hitmen always want to have each team 2 stellar goalies. They want to make sure that the goaltending position is the strongest on that team.
I mean, they just had Chase Clark drafted by the Washington
Right.
Capitals. I mean, these guys know how to put netminders between the pipes.
Yeah, and we've seen it time and time again, going all the way back. We've seen the goaltenders that have come out of there. So,
Chris Funky now, the new color commentator for Penn State Radio. Come on, Chris Funky.
Speaking of which, Dylan Luger scores a goal in his first game with the Nittany Lions.
How about Coffee with the hat trick last night as well for Colorado College? I mean, that's just the NCDC. Right. That's just the Premier. That's just the Elite. That's just the USPHL happening for you yet again.
Right.
You look at North American Hockey League. You look at U.S. hockey leagues here in the Tier 2 level. Nobody with more entry-level NHL draft picks last year at the Tier 2 level in the U.S. than the USPHL, and that's a pretty good mantra to have. It's a pretty good number to have, and you look at the talent coming out of Jersey. This elite team, Coach Raymond, what I love about what he's done is he's created that pipeline. Coach Hunt talks about it, cradle to college, right? We want to take you from the cradle. We want to take you from the youth ranks. We want to build you up. And as future NHLers walking through here, we want to take you from that age range, and we want to walk you through your entire career until you're at the next level, wherever that may be.
Right, and I mentioned this on the broadcast this morning when we had the Junior Bruins and PAL, is that all these coaches here, and it's not just the Hitmen, it's not just the Rockets, all the coaches in the USPHL, they develop their players not just to have success on the ice, but then to have success off the ice.
Yeah.
There's a ton of good character guys in this league that if hockey doesn't work out at the end, they're still set up for the rest of their lives in terms of the life skills that they need and the discipline that they need. So when we're looking at this all, yes, we're seeing all-stars left and right. We see tremendous talent all over the place in here for hockey. But these guys will still, at the end of the day, be able to take these experiences, take these lessons, and going forward. And that, I don't think you can put an all-star team of coaches together because every single one deserves to be on it.
Yeah, especially at this level. I mean, it's all about coaching. As you see Coach Serralo and Coach Lovell over there getting ready for their Metro Jets to take the ice. They coach 2 teams, okay? They coach the Metro Jets. They coach the Metro Jets development program. They do it all. Lucas, we say 2 teams. And there's a reason why I'm the greatest in the history of transitional statements of all time. There's a second team for the All-Stars. Elite All-Star team, Florida, and the North Division. As Palm Beach walks through the building, they might be interested in the Florida All-Star team. A lot of players on this one. A lot of opportunity. We mixed together the North Division, made up of all the teams in the New England region. I don't know why. I call it the North and not the North of New England. Although I do like saying the North because I like to be like Chris Berman where he says the Norris Division. Oh, right. Christian Adams of the Tampa Bay Juniors. You're going to have your All-Star team red now. Well, it's not your All-Star team. You're not coaching it. You've been fired as the coach already.
Wait.
We've moved on. This is how it works. This is what we do. We talk to the people off the camera.
I think
no one at home knows what's going on.
I think Dan's coaching this team.
Actually, I will tell you,
might be, yeah.
Coach Garrett Strode of the Tampa Bay Juniors had left the bench while Christian was on play-by-play. I was down ice side, and it was me and Coach Kuba. And I went up to Christian in the booth. I said, just so you know, the 2 coaches on the bench right now, between the 2 of us, over 100 NHL goals.
Yeah, one of them had 0, I'm guessing.
Coops. I mean, I scored goals in bunches. Lucas, you've got the graphic ready. We scroll up. Thank you, gentlemen.
Sean's got you.
This is what we do. We work together.
It's my inner producer.
This is why we bring these gentlemen in, because it's professionalism, something we lack in bunches. Sprigs. Is a sprig when you tie it together?
No. How do you guys lack professionalism in bunches? Come on, man.
I always lose it.
You see this setup you guys got here? What is it?
I'm
going to do the Kenny Smith on you. Come on,
man.
Explain that.
Come on, man.
Come on, man.
That's terrible.
No,
That's
on,
Charles Barkley.
Come on, man.
But a very terrible
at least you figured that
Barkley.
one. At least you got that one.
You can't be unprofessional with this many blinking lights on your set.
That is true. Once you have enough blinking lights. I won't bring out my Dick Vitale impression, though, because Lucas gets mad.
When we do high school games, he's my producer. And we put the headset on him as well. And he's to my left all the time, so this is kind of comfortable for me.
This is what it's all about. We are going to move on here to the Florida Division and North Division Elite All-Star Team. Lucas, roll the graphic. Let's read through this one. Starting at the top forward line, it is 3 skaters from IHC that have played some games at the premier level but have been dominant in the elite. It's Ryan. I love it when you call me Big Papa Lardo at the left wing, 2003.
Check you out with that.
Yeah, come on. Jacob, take it to the banky at center. And to the right, it's Thomas Ridiculous. How about Radio? This top forward line has been stellar. Your second forward line, left winger from the Tampa Bay Juniors, Cooper Hunt, gets the call to the All-Star team. He'll be centered by none other than, I call him the Kevin Youkilis of hockey, because you look at the guy and you say he's going to be physical. He's going to be an all-physical game type guy. And he has hands for days. Thomas filling up the nets, Filoramo. To the right, the Bryson's always right when Bryson Uhrig is on the ice for the Tampa Bay Juniors. Left wing on our third line, Andrew Ward of the Florida Eels. He'll be centered by Rory Niche of the Florida Junior Blades. And to the right, you can't free this guy up enough. Christopher Free of the Boston Junior Bruins. Your fourth forward line, Simon Higgins of the Springfield Picks, Mark Leroux of the Northern Cyclones, and Zach Zamillo of the Palm Beach Typhoon. Zach Zamillo, double Z, Old Zorro making the squad here at the right wing. Your last two forwards for the All-Star team, Caleb Harrop of the Florida Eels and Hayden Kearney of the Bridgewater Junior Bandits. Let's get through the defensemen and goaltenders and then get into this one. Your defenseman. On the left, Braden Bazovi of the Florida Eels gets the call, joined by Ian Rager of the Boston Junior Bruins, who have had a stellar season thus far. How about we set up camp in the defensive end here with Jordan Campo of the Tampa Bay Juniors. He'll be joined to his right by Colby Speth of the Islanders Hockey Club. Your final two defensemen to make the All-Star team for the Florida and North Divisions, Hayden Spencer of the Atlanta Mad Hatters, joined by Jacob, I feel a breeze coming in, Gusty, the biggest man in hockey.
Wow.
Jacob Gusty is the final character. I call him boss level because he is the guy you show up to when you've done wrong. Finally, your goalies. Matthew Shore of the Florida Eels starts things off, joined by the spinster, Spider-Man, Evan Spinella, who spins wins like nobody's business as the tallest two gentlemen in hockey come walking through as well. Finally, your last netminder on the Elite All-Star team for the Florida and North Divisions, Hayden Manning of the Northern Cyclones. We come back into the booth now. We look at the gentleman at the desk, and I'm going to start with Lucas first. I'm going to give you your first take. Basically, this is like your thesis. Defend your point.
Well, gentlemen,
everyone
I have
boo.
under your chairs
No
is
one
my
booed.
150-page thesis that I've written for all of you.
When I
Please
say
open.
boo, we all boo. Boo.
You've lost the crowd. I have them now.
Are you saying boo, or are you saying boo earned?
I think they're saying Dan K. Go ahead, Lucas.
But
Defend your point.
I think once again, when you have these combined elite teams here, that you have to decide where you go to, right? Where do you put some extra skaters? And I think in the Florida and New England, the North Division, as we're calling it, is, there's a lot of talent on the offensive end. I really like this, obviously, this all IHC line. I called Coach Punske this morning. Because these guys are averaging almost 2 points a game across the board. They're playing. They play a couple games at the premier level, but they are elite guys that play with that elite team. You kind of got to put all three of them on there. The other thing I really want to draw some attention to here, I think, is this third line, this Eels, Junior Blades, Junior Bruins line of Ward, Niche, and Free. Because you got Thomas Filoramo on the second line here, but I really liked putting that third line together. And obviously these lines are not indicative of skill or anything. It's just kind of where they fall in the selection. But, I mean, Rory Niche and Thomas Filoramo, we just got a chance to watch down at that Florida showcase.
Right.
These are two guys that when they're out there together, they are so dangerous. But then when you split them apart, somehow they get even tougher to play against. And that's why I feel like they really needed to both be included.
Look at if I could. I mean,
Yeah, go ahead.
You look at it, and again, that first line, how can you not put those three guys together?
Oh, you're-
Papa
yeah.
Larda, 47 and 22. Banky, 43 and 22. And Rodillo, 43 and 20. How can you not put those three guys together? First of all, and they're all from the same team. It's absolutely ridiculous.
And they've played a handful of games up at the premier level to fill in because of injuries at the premier.
Makes sense to me.
So they've lost a couple games at the elite level, and still, even with a lesser games played total, still tallying those numbers, the balance in scoring, the way they can move the puck. It's left hand, right hand with those folks.
And he needs some attitude. We got Phil Ramo, the kid from Staten Island. You got to love that.
Phil Ramo's my boy.
That's
my guy.
He's almost a 2-point-per-game guy.
Yep, filling him up. That's Mr. Phil the Nets.
I think he is this year's Jason Lastra in the elite. Phil Ramo. I really do.
Oh yeah,
2-point-per-game guy. I really do believe that.
And I look at it. So for me, having played hockey, coached hockey, ref hockey, all that stuff. I look at, for me, and he knows this so well, I tell him all the time, is do the players pass the eye test for me? Right. And so I got to see a little bit of the game. I actually got to step back and watch. He was broadcasting the Rockets against the Blades Jr.
Blades, yep.
Phil Ramo, yeah, he's absolutely right. The kid has got a lot of talent. He really gets moving on it.
An honorable mention to Chase Benjamin, who also had a hat trick last night.
Yes.
He was incredible.
Chase Benjamin, so I wrote about him. We do our Dan K Show highlighter players, and those are our favorite players that don't always show up on the stat sheet.
Right.
And Chase Benjamin was number one on that list after our trip to the Southeast Showcase. This young man, I say it's all about the Benjamin.
Yeah. I mean, but I was going to go on the other one here. Benjamin's good. He played a really good game yesterday, too. Don't get me wrong. Get the money going. You get a neck strain when you look up at Mr. Gusty there.
Yes.
To be honest with you. But I'll introduce you guys to Stratomatic Hockey a little bit more. There's a rating in there called intimidation. This guy would probably get the Zdeno Chara intimidation rating like a 1 to 14, which is crazy. I mean, his physical presence in front of the net, in front of the other team's net. It's just, he's a big fella. You can't push him around, and he establishes himself both ends of the ice. I was watching him establish himself both ends of the ice. So, when you have a guy like that, it's so valuable to a team altogether. When you have that physical presence that is not going to let anybody get any sort of liberties, goal scoring wise or other, at both ends of the ice. When he's out there, he completely sets a tone.
And you look at it, I'll tell you a story about Jacob Gusty. So we're down in Florida, right? We're calling a Florida Junior Blades game at the Florida Showcase. And there's a Star of the Game presentation about to happen. So I always run down to ice level. I've got my hat. I'm waiting at the boards, ready to go. Jacob Gusty's off the ice. His elite team had finished. Their premier team just won. And he looks at me as I get to the ice, ready to go, and he goes, "Who's getting a hat?" And I said, "Whoever you tell me."
Exactly. But that's what I'm saying. He sets the tempo. He establishes that presence, and you're just like, "You, sir."
Yeah, 100%. I mean, you look at it, there's something to be said about size, right? Size isn't absolutely everything in the game of hockey, but it is a lot of it, and you can't teach it. It creates an opportunity for you to give goaltenders fits in net. Like, talk about a tall goaltender. Look at it. You covered a Chase Clark.
Right.
I always go back to Chase Clark because I had been yelling since September that young man was going to get drafted in the NHL draft, and people called me a Looney Tune. Okay, they called me a Looney Tune. And next thing you know, when the Capitals called his name, I talked to Chase in an interview, and off the air I told him, I think I might have celebrated more than you did when you got picked because it made me look like I knew what I was talking about.
But now this also goes to the character of everybody in the USPHL. Chase Clark is genuinely one of the really good guys that has come out of USPHL.
Yep.
There's another guy who's at Army West Point right now. Gavin Abrick is another absolute gem.
Yes.
And Gav's doing some good work there with Army. In fact, their Twitter just put out a little bit of a video clip of him taking the ice, being introduced to the fans there.
Come on.
Which is just like, I'm like, all right, Gav, there you go. Those I know too. They're amazing guys right there. And I'm not taking anything else away from the other Hitmen players or the other players that have come in, because everybody's been that kind of a quality human being.
Of course.
But Chase and Gav have been two of the guys that just, right off the top of my head, stick right out in terms of their personality.
You know what I call Gavin Abrick? I used to call him A Brick Wall.
Yeah, he is.
There you go. Come on, the wall. You couldn't get it by him. And Lucas, you put these two teams together. Before we move on to the Mountain, I kind of want you to kind of talk to the folks at home about, to you, the second half of the season. Each year, at the end of the year, we pick our all Dan K and all Lucas J teams. They are exclusive. It is like all Madden. In the Premier, it's out of 65 teams. One roster for Dan, one for Lucas. In the Elite, out of 20 teams, one roster for Dan, one for Lucas. The question for you, Lucas, is you start looking at the all Lucas J team, you start looking at that roster, you see some of the guys that might not have made this list, maybe a Max Toomey, a defenseman from the Rockets Hockey Club. You look at a Chase Benjamin from the Florida Eels, guys that might have just been on the cusp of the All-Star team and didn't get the nod, didn't get the call. What do they have to do? What do they have to do? Starting today, Winter Showcase through the end of the season, how do they build that resume? How do they put their name on the map?
I think the biggest thing to remember for a lot of the guys in the Elite Division, and the Elite Division is a division that I've gotten to watch more this year than I think I have ever before, and it's because the quality of hockey there is so good. This job was a nightmare. You could have 100% created a well-deserving, an absolutely well-deserving all-star team for each division if you had wanted to. I think that for the guys that are off this, or not quite on this list, there is another team that's on the bubble, right? There is a whole other group of guys. The biggest thing to do is to take it in stride, right? And we all know this here is you look at a lot of the guys that you work with, whether it be one team or all teams, and whoever comes into the building, just keep working, right? There will be someone who notices you. There are guys who look at stats for sure. You brought up that you need players to pass the eye test. Right? So there are people who are watching games who are not always just looking at, well, how many goals did my defenseman score?
Yeah.
There are people here who are watching these players. They are taking the notes. They are watching the film. The biggest thing for me is something I say a lot when we talk about showcases, but I think it's really important for games outside of events like this. Every shift you have to play it like it might be the last one. And does that sound extreme? Absolutely. Does that sound exhausting? 100%.
Yeah.
As a man who is simply tired walking around for 14 hours, it sounds incredibly exhausting. But I think it's important because you never know when you're going to be watching, or when scouts are going to be watching, when coaches are going to be watching. So keep improving, keep putting in the work. You are going to get noticed for what I think makes you a special player. It makes it different for everyone. Some guys are role guys. Some guys are points guys. Some guys will show up a whole team. And then there are some guys who quietly get in on the forecheck, recover the puck, and send it back to the point. Be that kind of player, work on the kind of player you are, and somebody will certainly notice it.
I thought you were making like a bread statement. Like some guys are roll guys, some guys are bagel guys, other guys are more of like a baguette.
But it goes to, again, so for example, I've seen covering all over the place.
Yeah.
There are some high school goaltenders. Their goals against average is like 5.
Yeah.
Same percentage is around 840. Mm-hmm. And you look at those numbers, you're like, well, God, how are you going to win games like that? But then you look and you watch, and you're like, well, they're facing about 35, 40 shots a game.
Yeah.
And no, they're square to this and they're square to that. I've seen a bunch of goalies come through, and it's like, that goalie is better than their numbers indicate. And that's why I look at the eye test. It's like, you know what? Your positioning is sound. Your technique is sound. You're keeping your shoulders up. You're getting your post to post quickly, and you're staying square to the shooter. And I'm looking at all these things defensively. Are you keeping the guy in front? Are you able to shield him out? What's the different skill level? So Lucas is exactly right. You need some. Every team needs that glue. Every team needs that. Sometimes that sandpaper, that grit, and determination. And that's the joyous part. And sometimes the hard part for everybody, Lucas included, about picking an all-star team.
You look at Luke Remini, a goaltender from the Buffalo Stampede that I talked to last night in this building, and we talked about in the show a few weeks back. Right. There was a span of time where Luke Remini was seeing like 60 shots a night, right? And he's seen a high number. It's a young team in Buffalo. First of all, the marketing team is incredible in Buffalo. The Stampede, the sick jerseys,
Great
sick
uniforms.
website.
Yep.
They've got a place for the line charts online where if they run out of them printed here, you can go to a little link and you can go get your line sheets and print them out. It's absolutely awesome. They do everything right. But Remini, with this young squad in front of him and being an 0-4 goaltender, has seen an insane amount of shots, right? And we went and got a chance to see him take on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights. And this Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights team We knew they were the real deal, but I'll tell you what, they made a statement yesterday. Yeah. They went out and they beat a top 10 team in the Toledo Cherokee, came back 5 hours later and beat a top 10 team in the Florida Eels. You want to talk about making a statement? You want to talk about coming to a showcase and doing what this is all about? The Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights made a statement and some. And, you know, this young man, Luke Remini, goes up against that Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights team a couple times in his division, and he has seen a lot of action in the net and has stood tall.
And I, before they came to the USPHL, I saw the organization, got to see him play a couple times in the NA.
Yeah.
And you knew then, it's like, this is a good organization.
Yep.
And they just get the right guys, they're in the right situation, and they're going to be really good, no matter what league they're in.
Oh, 100%.
And they come over to the USPHL, and you're seeing the damage that they're doing. And it's fun to watch, and it also sets up a lot of good, especially for us. We get to, they're in our neck of the woods, so we get to see a lot of good hockey involving them, involving the Rockets, the Hitmen.
Here come those Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights we're talking about. The wagon.
They're really a good team. You know, it's a good organization.
And they do it the right way. And I think I think the way that I look at it, what makes a really good program? You know, as far as, you know, NCDC, some teams don't have it obviously, but, you know, Premier and Elite. If your elite team is top notch and one of the best, what is that? What should that translate into? That should translate into that your premier team is even that much better.
Yes.
That's what I think about when you do it the right way. You got guys that are going to play. You know, you're not completely top loading guys. You know, but you're putting guys in their best places to succeed. And Wilkes-Barre's been doing that all year long, both squads.
Shout out.
Go ahead.
Navy. There's a Navy hockey jacket over there. Somebody was walking with a Navy hockey jacket. Hey, see right there.
Midshipman, come on.
Yeah, excellent. ACHA programs, 2 of them, top notch.
Navy hockey.
Navy hockey's great.
We're doing ACHA shout-outs. I'm gonna give a shout-out to the Pergrams. They always watch us here from University of Kentucky. How about that program of Midnight Madness, too?
Yeah, obviously, shout-out William Patterson up in the ACHA D1.
Go, shout-out someone.
Gulf Coast.
I got him on the spot. This is what I do. This is what I do.
Where's Gulf Coast?
This is what we do.
Put me on the spot. Shout out to a guy like Florida Gulf Coast. Shout out to Eric Mabey from the Florida Junior Blades, being able to really make that kind of a pipeline almost for one of the best ACHA Division II programs.
And I'll tell you what. I told him this yesterday. That Florida Junior Blades team, that elite team down there, the way they play reminds me of Florida Gulf Coast University.
Yep.
The Florida Gulf Coast fingerprints are all over that program.
Which is, it's scary for anybody in ACHA D2, D3 right now, because if that pipeline's going, Gulf Coast is going to be good for a long time.
Can you imagine seeing Gusty on Gulf Coast?
That would be a nightmare.
Oh.
That'd be a nightmare.
Because Gulf Coast is always fast.
In a good way, Gusty.
They put you in track meets. You put Gusty there, and it's pretty evens everything out with his size.
Right.
It's like, oh, okay, well we can try to get around you. Okay, let's try to out physically you. Nope.
Watch,
Gusty.
yeah. I'll put the end to that.
Yeah, shout out to the Blades, man.
Watch out, by the way, for the Everblades. I'm calling them the Everblades.
Yeah,
they're the junior team up.
It's a junior team, but they're the Everblades, which is a really nice nickname. Really nice uniforms on them too.
Yeah.
You know,
their white uniforms are just fantastic. I might have to do a countdown of like the best uniforms at the show.
Yeah,
we should all do that.
I might have to.
You know what you have? Coach on the bench. You want to add a little pizzazz to it? Lightning Rod Simmons behind the bench. Lightning Rod, man. This guy has been so good behind the bench this year. He takes over this squad. He's put together another team similar to Potomac Patriots that, went through the doldrums and now driving back to the winning ways. And it's been so fun to watch. You talk about pipelines, like being able to set up that opportunity for young athletes to have a place they can go play right after this is all said and done in the junior hockey realm. That's what we are doing this for.
And I think the biggest credit though is even Mr. Simmons is actually he didn't travel with the team. Eric maybe he's been the guy behind the bench for this showcase so far.
Yeah.
That shows that coaching staff all the way through commands respect from the players and gets that response. And I think that's another big one too with how those guys have been working down there. The Blades, the Florida and the junior hockey, and then getting into the ACHA level there with Gulf Coast, it's just been phenomenal how they've been developing players down there. You wouldn't think
Yeah.
Especially like
Right.
Florida, and even
Florida's a
Arizona, they go
hockey
the same
market.
thing.
Come on, it's a hockey market now.
In the
Tampa, you
Tampa
go down
area,
to Tampa.
No, Tampa, yes.
You got
Miami.
They keep winning
Yeah,
games.
Panthers are wagon.
No, that's a good
Panthers
team.
are
People
wagon.
like winners.
That's a wagon, man.
Yeah,
People like winners.
Now, and keep in mind too, is like we all want to see these players go on to the next level.
Yeah.
But there's only so many NCAA teams. There's only Division I, there's like 2 Division II teams,
Yeah.
and Division III. I remember days Middlebury College shout out, but there's also ACHA teams all over the place.
Everywhere.
And now they got the CHF as well. But we saw Dave Jurassic was here with the coaches, the coaches seminar that's going on there, the coaches symposium, however you want to call it.
Yeah.
I've known him for like a decade now.
Yeah.
For, whether it be Western Connecticut, whether it be Sacred Heart with the ACHA and everything. So it's
Yeah.
good to catch up with him before. But ACHA is it's a really viable option for these guys that want to continue to play hockey as they go to college. So, don't just, it's one of those things like there's only a certain amount of players, NCDC, that are going to get to NCAA Division I programs. Division III.
Well, there's only so many spaces for it, right? I mean, you wind up with a finite amount of spaces, so we all have to find our best path. And for me, my argument is always, not an argument, I'm not arguing with the parents, but I'm always telling parents, look at this guy. Went onto the air, look at this.
What we got here?
Lucas, this is for you.
Ah,
I can handle this for now.
Uh-oh.
You want to help with that?
I can go help with that.
This is what he does. He does everything. So Lucas is going to go help with the music on ring 3 and get that done.
You
See,
want me
this
to-
is
you
how
want-
we balance it all.
You
We
want the-
balance it all. He's going to go help it out. He's going to go fix it.
You want the
because,
producer to hop on the buttons?
I mean, this should be the only button.
Yeah, this is true.
There's only one button.
Fair enough.
I don't want to belittle what
Right.
you would do because this is not as cool as what you would be doing.
I don't have one of those. That's actually really cool.
Not
This
yet.
is actually, do you like this? This is worth it.
He doesn't have one yet.
This is
I haven't
worth it.
needed one. I only need one camera. for
Watch this
stuff.
little
So-
sneak peek for the folks at home. Whoop, can't read that fast. It's back.
So, but the thing is but the thing is this guy to my left, like, he always wants to put in the best work.
Yep.
Right? And this is one of the reasons why him and I have been together for a decade.
Well, you guys, what I love about you guys is it's reminds me of Lucas and I, right? Like
Right.
you want to surround yourself with people who make you better, right, in everything you do, and that's what you guys do here with traveling around the country. I mean, you guys were in Connecticut calling hockey games before you came up here, and it's so fun to watch you guys kind of work together, work off one another, and build your product the same way we do ours.
It's almost like we can sometimes, scary as this sounds, sometimes we'll finish each other's sentences.
Well, me and Lucas, we're more about sandwiches. So usually he's like, I'm a little full, so then I eat a
Well,
sandwich.
it's like you can get halfway through saying something and it's just like I know what the rest of it's gonna be. So he's like, just save your breath. I got it.
He'll give me.
We get to that point. It's just like
he'll either say 10-4 or he'll give me a thumbs up, and it's like I know that's as far as He knows what I'm trying to get to.
Well, gentlemen, we have kept the people waiting long enough for the mountain.
Suspense.
Last
thing.
All-Star team now. You'll have to tune back in tonight at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time for the rest. The USPHL Mountain Division All-Star team, voted on by the Dan K Show. That's me. We put it up on the screen.
Slow fade.
Very slow fade. Because I was going to drum roll in my head, but I never actually drum rolled in the table because I was afraid I'd break Lucas's equipment and he's not here, although we could probably send Sean to fix it. Let's go through this one. We start with the top forward line, Miles McHugh, who goes the extra miles for the Utah Outliers, the top team right now in the mountain. He's joined by Parker Williams and Will Cohen, all Utah Outlier stars on the top line. The second forward line of this all-star team, Nick Urtis. He's from the Utah Outliers, joined by Lucas Washko of the Ogden Mustangs and Cade Herrera, also of Ogden. Your third forward line, we start with Jake Muir, the year 2002, having a stellar season thus far. He's then joined by Brendan Dicker of the Pueblo Bulls and fellow Pueblo Bull, Braden Lacombe. Braden Freifogel of the Freifogel brothers makes it to our fourth forward line as a left wing from the Northern Colorado Eagles. He'll be joined by two of his teammates, Ethan Pitzman, all the way from Alaska, and right winger Javen Heidergott. Heidergott is stellar from Northern Colorado. The final forward to make the squad from the Pueblo Bulls, Benjamin St. Ange. Your defenseman for this squad, your D pair, you got to start with the Utah Outliers. They've been the best defense in that Mountain Division. They've been stellar. These two are ridiculous. Jacob Saran, who is injured right now and may not return till the playoffs. That's a tough loss for this side, but still an all-star performance. And Magnus Einarsson. Joining them, Matthew Kepke of the Utah Outliers and Luke Foz of the Ogden Mustangs. Your final D pair, a full Freifogel sweep. The Freifogel family, both brothers make this one. Bailey Freifogel will be joined by Provo River Blades defenseman Braden Deck. The goalies for this side, Marco Felsetti, Antonio Tarantino, and the man, again, a great name, Charles Anthony Barbeau. That's your team. That's your squad. Gentlemen, let's bring it back into the booth, and let's talk it over.
See, again, I go on eye test, and the great part about this is it's like, you know, I get to see a lot of these players. Problem is I haven't had the honor of seeing any of these players play yet.
Yep.
So I'm a little bit on the I got to try to figure out as I go along. But as I'm looking at the screen here, you know, when you're looking at guys who, you know, I'm seeing 41 points. I'm seeing Ogden Mustangs right up in the top three there. That line with Herrera, Washko, and Muir. 41, 38, 36.
Yeah, and the big thing with the Mountain Division is last year was really run and gun. A lot of the guys coming down from Canada, right? It created a speedster league. They were scoring netminders. It wasn't the netminders world out there. It was a world where as a netminder, you're facing a lot of shots every night. This year, I want to go to the net. I want to go between the pipes, okay? Because we start with Antonio Tarantino, and this guy's got more hits than Quentin Tarantino.
Right.
I'll tell you that much. He's got a .943 saves percentage and a 1.40 goals against. He's won 6 games. This young man in Ogden has kept his team in games all year long.
You know, you're seeing top. Sometimes you see a top line like that are putting points up, and then you see a goaltender with the numbers. You're like, all right, fine. Where else is there? And, you know, that's telling you that, you know, when the top line's not out there, now you need that. You know, and if the depth isn't quite there yet, having a goaltender like that in Tarantino really, really is helpful to building that foundation of success. And they got it going on there in Ogden. And I can tell you this much: it's not just USPHL hockey.
Yeah.
That Western type of, we've seen run and gun. We've covered ACHA Division II for years now. And boy, every team that comes out of that Western region, it's like, well, they can score about 7 or 8 goals a game, but how many are they going to prevent? Well, here now you're seeing, you got a couple goalies here that's like, yeah, you know what, we can stop them too, which is good.
I mean, you look at Marco Felsetti there with the Utah Outliers. He's a 9.29 coming into the weekend with 14 wins. The Utah Outliers continue to win. And they lose Jacob Saran. And you talk about a defenseman. This is a guy that ran the point for everything for him. This is a physical guy. Jacob Saran, I always say Saran wraps him up, right? This is a guy that just wraps up your attack. You've got no chance to get by him. You lose a guy coming into the playoffs. How hard is how hard is it as a defenseman to get your feet back under you if he's going to come back playoff time, right, in that situation?
Well, you know, I think it's just about as much as how his team is able to help it, be able to ease in that transition to get back into play.
Yep.
When you're talking about a team like the Utah Outliers and how they have been this season, being able to take a player like Jacob Saran and with their success that they've had this year, you know, it's really a testament of, you know, again, what makes a good program, what makes a good team, being able to do it the right way and having guys to be able to make that next step up, you know.
Yeah.
You now see Magnus and Matthew there. You know, they're going to be the guys to make that next step up and take over. Maybe another guy slides in and would take that third spot there in the All-Star team.
Yeah.
With this Utah Outliers team, it's probably very much the same way. And you know, and for them, it's going to be, I think, for Saran, skating-wise, Brett can attest to that portion of it. But for as far as the team aspect of it is concerned, listen. The team, it's going to be up to his teammates to really be able to help him ease back in and get back into the system of things. And, you know, but, you know, to continue his question, the skating part of it, it's always pretty tough, right?
Right, because now I have not seen a Utah Outliers elite team game. I'll have their premier team later tonight. But as I'm looking at it, as Lucas is coming back into the set here, as I look at it, just looking at the numbers, I sit there and say, all right, this guy in a 60-minute game, he's probably getting 25 to 30 minutes a night.
Yeah.
Right? So now he's out there against the top pairings right off the bat. Now I'm thinking, it's like, you know what? If you're out there getting 25, 30 minutes a night, you have to be able to play defense. You're not out there just to try to hit bombs from the point.
Yeah, of course.
So now you're looking, it's like, all right, he can defend, thus the saran wrap, right? And then I'm looking, 5 goals, 15 assists. Now you got a puck mover.
Yeah.
And how important is it to have a puck mover, in the back, coming up? That's so important, especially in this day and age of hockey where speed kills.
Yep.
Speed will absolutely kill everything. And so when you can have a puck mover, getting that puck to the right guys, putting them in position to be successful at the offensive end of the ice, those are such big things. And so, you lose a guy like Saran, that's massive.
It's a tough one, but we look at some of the good stories here. One of the guys that falls into the category of Dan K Show highlighter player is from the Northern Colorado Eagles, Ethan Pitzman. This is a young man with 24 points on the year, 10 goals, 14 assists, out of Alaska. But he's a centerman who wins every faceoff, man. He wins the draw. He can control the game for you. He can get physical when he needs to be. Ethan Pitzman, for me, is just... he's the guy I'm looking for to center my top forward line, man. He's not flashy. He doesn't need to get the points. He's happy to create. He's happy to be whatever part of it he has to be. Plants himself in front of the net on the power play chances. This is an all-around centerman that I really like.
It's interesting as I look through all this thing.
Yes,
right?
and I like you seeing this because for the folks at home, I mean, obviously, this is an opportunity to kind of hear an outsider's point of view with the mountain, right? Because you haven't had a chance to take in the mountain. Obviously, we want to get out to the mountain. That's a beautiful region.
Well, who else? Who wouldn't want to get out there?
Come on,
man.
Fantastic.
But,
Come on, man.
But it's interesting to see your take here as you kind of dig through these numbers. You look through these squads and see who stands out.
See, for me, we haven't, other than announcing who the guys are.
Yeah.
I'm looking through all these things and I'm seeing, there's a bunch of Utah outliers there. The Mustangs line is all good, and then all of a sudden, Big Ben.
Ben St. Ange, baby.
Big Ben, and that clock will always ring true. 25 goals, 32 assists, the monster numbers.
Yep.
And so,
First guy I lay my eyes on.
you look all throughout there, and all of a sudden, you're seeing 25, 30 points, 41 there for Herrera, bang, 57.
Cesarinis, we say hello. They always walk by when we're on here. They're just looking for camera time. That's us New York and Jersey folks. We got 4 Jersey guys here. They're the New York folks.
Hey, we're Jersey over here too, so it's all good.
Well, it's all the tri-state area. I mean, they think they're better than us though in New York, don't they? They don't. What exit off?
What exit off?
Come on. Now we'll do 35 minutes of Jersey humor.
Tell him.
Only North Jersey specific comedy now for the next hour and a half.
Oh boy.
Well, gentlemen, we talk about Ben St. Ange. You talk about the crew here. We'll take one last look at this for the folks at home so you can take a peek before we close out because Lucas and I got to go call hockey games now.
Yes.
We got 2 more. What games do we even have? Lucas, I made the schedule. I got to ask myself about 18 times today what hockey games I'm calling. We're over on rink 1, so all I got to do is click on it, Lucas, and then I go and I say to myself, we've got the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights taking on the Metro Jets, followed by the Chicago Cougars and the Vegas Thunderbirds.
Yeah,
We've
that
got
is the
some
right
battles.
reaction for
We've
that.
got some battles. That's your all-star team. This is us here at home. Dan K is now the producer. I've gotten the producer credit for this. I'm now technical director, Dan K. This is Lucas Jones.
It's only a matter of time, America.
Rink music accoutrement. He got the rink. Did the rink music get back on?
No, it did not. But I will say this. None of the various accessories that we have in our possession to connect 30 years worth of advancements were the issue. So there's always that. But I will say this. I tried. And that's all you can do.
Got to put
where I did my
100%
best.
effort in.
You know what? You can do your best, and that's what you can do. Look at this guy. Bobby Shooter walking through, coming in with the guns. Come on.
He had a 6-shooter going there.
Do you know Bob Turo? The best thing about the commissioner. Tell me another league where a commissioner can go driver off the tee on a par 5, driver off the deck from the fairway, putt with a driver from the fringe and miss an eagle putt by an inch and tap in with the driver for bird. You don't got that anywhere else.
No.
Goodell ain't doing that. Manfred certainly ain't doing that. And if you said he couldn't, he'd probably fire you.
Oh, yeah,
and,
that's true.
You know, and I can make those jokes now.
That's true, yeah.
And, you know, and that's where we stand with this. I mean, what a job done by the league here putting this thing on.
Oh,
Gentlemen,
yeah.
we thank you guys for coming up. I mean,
Thank you for having us.
you guys
This was
these guys drove through the snow to come up here, make this a special event for everyone on Hockey TV, calling 700 games unofficially on the weekend. They will call games until they don't have a voice, and I will force them to stay here until the rink closes every day. No, we are going to have fun, though, gentlemen. Thank you guys for joining us.
I got to teach you how to play Stratomatic.
Well, that's what we're doing next.
Yeah.
That's after we call these two. I got
Yeah,
two
you
hockey
go
games.
call the games.
Two hockey
At
games. I
some
got one
point
more
tonight,
All-Star
we'll-
show. 10 o'clock.
Okay.
10 o'clock. Hotel.
Hotel?
Not going to tell the folks at home where my hotel is. I
No,
almost got
that's
punched at an event. I'm not letting people know where my hotel is. Speaking of punched, here comes a guy, Bill Flanagan, and the biggest snub in the history of the Olympics. Ridiculous. I'm still
Well,
fed
yeah,
up
no.
about it. I'm
The
frustrated.
Olympic gold medal right
Come
there.
on.
Wait, come on, man.
Come on.
You're
Let's
ignoring,
get our heads on
you're
straight.
You're ignoring an Olympic gold medal.
What are we
doing?
thinking?
What are you doing, man?
The Flanagans come out of here. They beat, I mean, basically Palm Beach. Bay Flanagan just walked by with Palm Beach. They beat Lake Tahoe. Lake Tahoe beat Metro. So technically Palm Beach is the #1 team in the country.
Go USA in the Olympics, by the way.
USA in the Olympics. Gentlemen, let's go. Parting words. Lucas, you start. Great job. He shut off his mic. He doesn't ever do parting words. Brett, you can have real parting words.
First of all, come on, man.
We always have parting
Come
words.
on, man. Second of all, though, in reality, and yes, go USA in the finals. We saw Cali walking by. Great to have. Thank you for having us. Great to be here. A lot of fun action still to go. I'm going to get you guys hooked on Stratomatic hockey before this is all said and done.
I'm in.
And we might want to get some food to go with it.
You should probably have food.
Yeah, we should probably get food.
Yeah, well, I think
food.
25 hotel pizzas. You guys have the room in my name, so you guys could just run it up on a Bonvoy
No,
card.
I'm not going to do that. I don't want to get you in trouble on that, though. So.
It's been a fantastic time to be able to do this and be able to go over some of the best talent in America, and it'll be fun to watch you guys and see what the other players are, especially in that Mid-Atlantic region for Premier. I'll be looking forward to
Let's
seeing
do this.
how that
You can't
looks.
say who's on it, but I can show you, and you can live react and be mad. He's going
let
to
me
be
see
mad.
this.
I feel it right now that he's going to be mad.
Nope, I'm not.
He's not mad.
Nope,
No,
I'm not at all.
checking.
Well represented.
I'm checking. No,
I'm not mad at all.
No, I'm. No, it's.
It's exactly
No,
what I. It's,
yeah.
Yep. That's right.
No, it's.
We did it.
No, you got it. Yeah, no,
did it.
that's.
We
You
got
got it. You got it.
yeah,
You got it for me.
Can't tell anybody yet. This is still secret, though. We
No,
cover it
no,
up.
it's,
Later tonight, 9
yeah.
p.m. We're going to do it then.
I mean, listen, yeah, 9 p.m. obviously, but tune in for it, by the way, because these guys put on crazy stuff.
And that was
here.
a Jersey tune in for it. He's not asking you to.
Tune
He's
in,
telling you.
tune in, okay? Don't forget about it, okay?
Don't
but
forget.
That's a real good list. There are going to be some that say, "Hey, why am I not on this list? Why is my buddy not on this list? Whatever."
Yep.
That's what these lists are, but I can't argue with that.
That's it, man. And we look at it. We thank you all for watching here on YouTube.com. Dan Kay, Lucas Jones, Sean Brederick, Brett Luthner, the Super Jersey team. The Jersey Boys brought you this one. We'll be back again at 9 o'clock tonight. Tune in on
Shout
Hockey
out Jersey.
TV. Shout out to everybody in Jersey, just all of you. I mean, just hanging out, having fun, eating gabagool. I'm Dan Kay.
Yes.
What are my parting words? My parting words are we're here at the USPHL Winter Showcase. When I tell you I walked into that scout room when the food came in and I couldn't
Yeah.
move without bumping into a
Pasta
scout.
fagioli coming on later.
You get a little pasta fagioli coming in for all the
there
boys.
you go, bro.
We look at this. This is your opportunity, young men. This is your opportunity to come out here ice side, come out here, put a resume on paper, on ice, and be seen by scouts from across the nation of hockey here. Move yourself to the next level. Let's go. You need anything, you reach out to us. It's dankshow.com, @the_Dan Show. We want to thank the sponsors of all of our shows this weekend, Elite Junior Profiles. Take your recruiting profile to the next level at www.elitejrprofiles.com with NILs, with the ability to sell likenesses at the college ranks. Start putting the NASCAR wrapping paper on your recruiting profile now. Go to the best in the biz, elitejrprofiles.com. Don't tell us we sent you. Tell them we sent you. They'll have the opportunity when you sign up. Teams can also sign up there, not just for hockey. Any athlete looking to go to college, go sign up here today. We also thank Remastered Sleep. Stop snoring with just a sip, gentlemen. It's the water bottle of your dreams. You travel around with your buddies and you call hockey games and they won't stop
Don't
snoring.
look at me that way. Don't look at me that way.
You've got your next
Don't
gift.
look at me.
You've got a gift for Brett Luthner. Well, guess what you get him? You know what you get him? You get him your remastered sleep water bottle. It's a water bottle that strengthens the cords that when you sleep, they settle down and they cause the snoring. Did I get that right?
Brother.
Essentially, it's a water bottle that helps to strengthen the muscles that will help you stop snoring once they are strong. So it's therapeutic.
I can tell you it worked for Lucas.
And I was one of the people who tested the water bottle, which is why we continue to work with them, because it works for me. It is fantastic.
Brother's going to be getting this from me.
Intelligent
for the next road trip.
Minnesotans from the medical field that can help you stop snoring by strengthening those muscles that cause the issue. You go right now to remasteredsleep.com. You buy your water bottle, and guess what? I'll get you 10% off. It's Dan K Show 2022, 2022. Dan K Show 2022. You'll get 10% off that order, and you will be closer to a restful sleep than ever before.
That's Brotherwick just getting an idea there, by the way.
That's a gift idea. You go get the water bottle.
Yeah,
We
I
got
can
our
tell
own water
that's
bottles.
already.
We travel around everywhere with them. We always keep it going. It's also good for the voice. Thank you also to Selly Salt. Sprinkle a little bit on your next meal and celebrate a delicious, delicious dinner. That's it, folks. When Dan K's on the mic, it's always hockey night. We'll talk more here on Hockey TV in just a moment. 4 p.m. Eastern puck drop, Rink 1, Metro Jets taking on the Wilkes-Barre Scranton Knights in your game of the day.